Welcome to the home of the DIY movement, where we build stuff and paint things.
All right, y'all, it's Way Back Wednesday, man. Welcome back. Where we last left off, we lost brakes on the 63, but we made it home, right? Repaired the brake line, replaced the brake line, got it back on the road, and, kept it, for, I don't know, a year. Started noticing probably about 6 months in, some strange things happening with the paint job. So the first issue that I started noticing was on the passenger side fender. Now, once this car was painted and I guess done, I kept it in the 2-car garage in part of the house. It's a little more climate controlled than the shop was before I insulated it. So, it doesn't get as humid, it doesn't get as cold. Things last longer in the 2-car garage than they do in the shop. I mean, something as simple as a chain hanging on the wall. A chain hanging on the wall in the shop is going to rust. Hanging in the garage and part of the house, it's going to last longer. Probably still going to rust, but it's going to last much longer. So I like to park it in the garage, so to keep it clean, because the shop, we were always making a mess. Excuse me. And started noticing some pimples on the fender. Now, you guys remember a few weeks back, I talked about using the 2K primer on top of bare metal without epoxy, on top of 2K primer on top of phosphoric acid that wasn't cleaned or neutralized, I should say. And it started with a little pimple on the fender. And I'm like, okay, well, that's there, but it's not a deal breaker. The car still looks good. And then a couple weeks later, got a couple more little pimples. And then within a couple more weeks, I started getting a lot of them. And then a couple weeks after that, the whole thing was peppered with these little bumps that were under the base coat. If you were to wet sand them down, they're not in the clear. They're under the base coat. So, man. Back to Tasco, back to buy more Deltron. And, I was like, okay, the fender's got to come down to bare metal, man. You see the bulk of it took down low where we did a patch, took that down again. The bottom of the door right there, took that down because it had bubbles. So, this is, the car's done. The car is driving down the road and I'm having these things pop up. So this is, for me, in my mind at the time, this is absolute worst case scenario. What the hell is going on with my paint job that we put so much money in and time in to cause all these issues? Driver's side fender, driver's side door. I don't know for certain, but what I'm going to say is I believe this is caused by 2K urethane primer over bare metal. That moisture got to the metal and caused it to rust and bubble up from the metal out. Here we are, passenger side quarter panel. Typical rust spot for a lot of these cars, but I took it down to metal and there was no rust. There was no, something that needed to be cut out and replaced. It was just little pimples that were little specks of rust that were growing and had nowhere to go. The roof, now you remember the roof we took down to bare metal and we used the Shopline epoxy a few videos back. So I don't think it was the issue. I think the issue with the roof, we had a couple bubbles. I think it was because the thing was painted 3 times in the course of 2 weeks. And those solvents and all those materials have to escape at some point. So they got to make their way to the top, and they do in the form of a pimple or a bubble. And I think that's what caused the issue on the roof. So we have a combination of things going on. Now, since of course this is back in 2014, I believe. You know, I've changed my procedure, changed my process. I use epoxy now. But I still don't know for certain what caused that. But I'm gonna say that it was 2K urethane over bare metal, over the gem rust neutralizer, or whatever they want to call it. All that crap is a gimmick, in my opinion. The thing needs to be shiny bare metal and epoxy on top, and then you go from there. And that's the process that I use now, and I haven't really seen any issues, you know, with that. But on the roof, I would say that the issue was that we painted the thing 3 times without letting enough time for it to gas out completely before putting another coat of whatever, locking it in, and then doing it again the next week, and boom, 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 3 times. These solvents, they got to escape at some point. So that's what I attribute to the issues on the roof. The fender and the lower of the door and the bubbles on the door, urethane over bare metal, big no-no. You know, this picture right here could be a little disappointing because you have a running and driving car that you just put together, you know, 6 months ago, that looked great when it was done, and now you doing this to it, and you're back buying more of the expensive ass Deltron base coat with their reducer. You know, it was like, man. So at this point, the thing kind of turned sour, and I was like, man, you know, I think I'm just gonna respray it and get rid of it, you know. And so at this point, the wheels were turning towards that, but it was quite a learning process. And the end result, after it was all said and done, still looked really nice. You know, we took our time masking and getting overspray off and all that, and cleaning and all that, so it still looked really good. But it was very discouraging to have to respray all this after it was set on a brand new powder coated rolling chassis. You know, the glass was new, the trim was new, we had to remove it. You know, it was just, man, quite a step in the wrong direction. I'm not sure if this was attributed to the respray. I don't think so. I think this was the first paint job, but I'm gonna throw it in here anyways, man. We talked about it last video, about the way to wet sand a run out using the body filler. So we had some flow indicators right there on the fender, and we used the filler method and we got them out. But as you can see, excuse me, tape the edges. This is a little excessive in hindsight with the tape, but hey, better safe than sorry. So man, you guys starting out, I would say, you know, this is a good way to start with taping your edges when you wet sand and buff, so you don't burn through. As you get more experience, you become more comfortable with the buffer and the technique and the sandpaper. You know, you don't have to tape your edges this much, but this is a good reference picture. I believe this picture right here is after it was repaired. Could be wrong. I have a lot of pictures of this car. I'm trying to sort through them. So basically, yeah, we repainted the car. I want to say we repainted the whole passenger side, the roof, and the hood. And then the driver's side quarter panel was repainted. So man, you know, it was a little discouraging because the first paint job, we didn't have to respray or redo anything. Now, it wasn't without flaws. It had flaws. It was covered in flaws, but it wasn't to the point that it was like, man, we need to repaint this. Also, looking at this picture right here, what's under the car cover is my buddy's 53 Bel Air, I believe. That he wanted me to, I stored it for him for a while. I want to say maybe like 6 months. I also wet sand and buffed it, so I gained some experience. I did it for free just to gain some experience and get more comfortable with the rotary polisher. But yeah, so the 63, man, it wasn't without struggle for sure, man. It was, that's why I say that it was more of my first full off restoration where we learned a lot. We finally got the roof right. This thing is looking real proper right there in the sun. There's no blotchy, there's no, you know, tiger stripes or anything like that, man. It was nice when we finally got it right the third time, and then repainting all the rest, you know. So I definitely learned a lot with this car. This last picture right here, you're noticing something a little different. We went ahead and two-toned it because I was like, man, since we did all this work, I really don't want to put it back together and just have it look the same way it did. He had some leftover green paint, which was the color of the 53 under the car cover there. And I was like, he was like, man, you could spray this, you know. I was like, well, let's do that, man. So we two-toned it and added the side molding with the dark green, and then eventually went off into some uncharted territory with this car. We're going to get into the next video, man, but I got one more video for this series on the 63 right here. We're going to get into next time. But so the 63 right here, Laurel Green, man, I love it. I love Laurel Green, almost to the point that I kind of want to paint the one I have now Laurel Green. We'll see how it goes. But we painted the damn thing 3 times, man. I went to Tasco, I don't know how many times, and bought that Deltron. And like I say, the guy looked at me stupid every time I walked in, and you know, he had all the reason. But definitely learned a lot, man. You definitely don't want to spray 2K urethane over bare metal in a humid environment. It's going to come back to bite you in the butt, man. This Wayback Wednesday is a little bit shorter than the rest, man. We're working up to our last video, which is going to be next weekend, or next Wednesday, I should say. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. Y'all stay tuned for the next one.